and they got a group, and they got a list of artists' name in a book.
Mm.
And when the money starts to diminish for the record label, they tell him which artist to get next. I think he was behind the Mo 3. Um, it's a couple of them that Empire Records had a hand in their murder. He did a countdown in the photo slide. If you go to owner Empire Records with rappers, you'll see him. He'll be doing the countdown with the different artists. He's counting how many he's killing.
Whoa. Mm.
And so
Mm.
he put the hit on them, but if we can confirm the hit, we can extract them.
Okay.
And so when they put the hit on them, psychological operations is in full effect now.
Mm.
Because Farrakhan said, you want to kill another one of us. It's more than one way to skin a cat.
Absolutely.
But some of them chiefs get on my nerves.
You got
They,
people here cracking up.
hey, look. Hey, I'm just they get on my nerves. Like, that's some annoying stuff.
Mm.
I like Left Eye. I never get any communications from Aaliyah. But Left
Mm.
Eye always be looking at her. And I could
I was want to go back when you were saying about America is the new Roman Empire, as well as. Can you hear me good?
Yeah,
I
I
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
Okay. And I've been doing my research a lot. You can call me the spook who sat by the door. I'm a Kohen. You know what I'm saying to you? A Kohen is a Kohen, which basically is a high priest through bloodline DNA.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
So so I've been studying my background and stuff. It's very interesting. So I'd like to get into this Greek and Egyptian thing. I'm also started off from Egyptian before I went to Hebrew or Israel. You said that the United States is being ruled by the Catholics, but basically by the Romans, which is the new Roman Empire. And this is a question I would like to ask. When the Greeks came to Egypt and they started learning all the things that Egypt knew, what made Egypt fall to the Greeks? Or shall I say, how did the Greeks, I'm being rhetorical, it is no the answer, but still, I would like for you to explain it. How did the Greeks take the identity of the Egyptians or Kemet and place it as their own, and all of a sudden Egypt or Kemet start to fail or fall or start losing their mind?
So what's taking place is the temple priests are removing the power from Kemet, or
How?
else it would have never failed by taking the knowledge of how to rule the area with higher knowledge. They
How?
train.
I hear what you're saying, sir. I just wanted to give me. I would like to for you to tell me the how. I understand the process, yet how? I understand they took the power. How?
They was assisted by the temple priests.
Mm,
That's how it was given to them. They didn't take jack shit. Excuse my language. They didn't take nothing. All this was orchestrated by a priesthood.
mm-hmm. You right about that.
Yeah,
I'm listening.
it's the whole thing is orchestrated. The moon priests is the ones who ran the Roman Empire. They were the ones who brought the Achaean priests down in Greece and took over the Greco-Roman systems.
Mm-hmm.
It was given to them. They didn't take over.
Mm-hmm. It was given, but okay. You said it was given to them.
Right.
Mm,
So the newest addition to the human family tree is those pale faces of Europe. They're
mm-hmm.
the only ones who had never had the opportunity to rule nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Before the close of the age, everybody had to have a right to rule in order to determine the level of civilized that they are. When the European was being propped up as the rulers of the world, they wasn't running and they still don't run nothing. This is being done by melanated faces behind the scenes that we call Zionist Jews. That's who running the
Mm.
show. The pale faces,
Uh,
the cat's paw. They was propped up as the leadership in order for us to never know who the enemy was.
This is what I discovered, and you probably can piggyback off of it. What I discovered is the Greeks paid attention so much to the Egyptians, or should I say the Kemet. They didn't understand their language quite, but they became their slaves, or should I say volunteer indigenous slaves, or whatever you want to call it. As well as they started learning their ways, their culture. But this is the part that, to me, how Kemet fell, they started labeling them. Once they started labeling them, Kemet started to believe they was that label. You know how people call us black people or African American. Once they
Yep.
started labeling them, that's when all of a sudden, through years and of course through bumping uglies, aka having sex, and when we get the grandchildren and the great grandchildren, you start the grandchildren thinking that's their name by the label. And when the Greeks start labeling Kemet, the next generation, generation after that, Kemet people started to believe that that's who they were. Once they start believing that's who they were, then that's when the Egyptians came and started taking over who they really are. So when I say that, how did the Greeks took over Kemet and how did Kemet fall? The way I look at it is the person who's analyzing the person don't know what he's doing or don't know what how their culture is. They start labeling. Once they start labeling, if the people next generation don't know who they are originally, they start believing in that label. When they start believing in that label, then that's when they start to fall. And the ones who fall, they're the one who becomes slaves, and the one who did the labeling, they're the one who becomes kings. And they keep on going on through generations from the Egyptians to the Greeks and keep on going on in history. But a question though, when you said the Romans is ruling America, or this is the Roman Empire, how was that, sir? And I'm
You know
not
what?
debating, I just want to pick your mind.
Okay, I'm gonna give you some background. You know where Washington D.C. is, right? The land of the seven hills. You know, before it was called Washington D.C., what it was named? It was named Rome, right? The place was picked for a very specific purpose because it was supposed to be an embassy for Rome. The White House is Casablanca, and Casablanca go back to the White Temple in Kemet, which is the bank, Big Mama Bank. The Pope is masquerading as Big Mama, but he can't sit on her seat. So he sit his seat under her seat. And Jacob undermined Esau. The underminer undermined the earthborn, the Adama. So the it's all in our face, behind our back. But Rome is the commissioners of the church of the royal families. The Pope crowned the kings and queens. That the Pope is being crowned by blackamoors. And if you don't believe me, just Google Pope kissing their feet. They own the Pope, but the Pope is uh, the CEO of the corporation that's running everything. The Washington, D.C. is a federal corporation, and the stakeholders was Buckingham Palace and the Vatican. The Vatican is called prime stakeholder. That means they own the biggest share of the corporation that's masquerading as our government. All of the police are chartered out of London. All of the priests are chartered out of Rome. Whether they Baptist, Pentecostal, Presbyterian, when they do that 501c3 ministry exempt, that's their allegiance to Rome in order for them to be exempt from taxes. Rome will not tax his own. So you have to register under their corporate fiction as an agent of the church in order to have a priest functioning in tax exempt status on the land. That's how Rome is the continuation in America. Can I answer your question, brother?
Yes, you did. I thank you very much. One small thing, and I'm about to be out. I was talking to a
You went quiet. Did you mute?
Nah, brother. We got a lot of people. I got to move forward. Thank you. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Brother Lai is in the building. What up, brother Lai?
Peace and blessings to everybody on the panel. Peace. Good evening.
Peace, brother.
Okay, somewhat to piggyback off of the question that was just asked to the brother in regards for the United States. The question I have for you, Rod, is this: what would be your stance on the new Northern American Free Trade Agreement between Canada as well as Mexico? Now, with that being the case, as you being an indigenous person, what would be your view on the president of Mexico, which has Israel backing, and the president of Mexico being from Israel, and the president from Canada allegedly supposing to be the son of Fidel Castro?
Woo! Heavy question.
Let me start right here. Everything they use to usurp us, we got a right to use it to come up. It don't matter what they tried with NAFTA. It don't matter what they tried with FEMA. It don't matter what they try anywhere in a swamp splushed arena. Everything that they had planned to use against us, the Global 2000 Report World Reduction, the Readiness Exercise 1984, round up the chiefs, right? And the COINTELPRO, stop their leader from rising up to tell them what's going on. Everything that they used became tools for us to navigate around their BS until we can get to a place where we can reclaim what's rightfully ours. As far as the presidents of them countries, I mean, them puppets, flat out puppets. They figureheads. They just been propped up to look like they important to regular people, so the regular people don't know that they mama and they daddy the most important people in their life if they doing what's right. Them people don't mean nothing to me. Like I tell people all the time, I don't care about Trump one way or the other. I just know what his assignment is to make the announcement that the indigenous people then reclaimed America and that is the corporation has been closed. Right? That's all I care about. I don't care about whether Kamala is representing the whore of Babylon or she's gonna fail miserably on purpose. That don't matter to me. But I have to make note of it to the people that's watching so they know what they're looking at. They playing out the prophetic narrative in a theatrical performance called politics. This is all Roman Colosseum design, since we was talking about them earlier, right? All of these corporations are being systematically shut down and the government closed. 90% of the people still don't know the government been closed for 5 years. And they running around talking about electing the president of a dead corporation that's not going to come back to life no matter how many elections they have. And sooner or later, it's going to be revealed that they corporations are no longer and that the tribes have reclaimed the birthrights to the land because it's happening in real time. So that's what I think about Canada, Mexico, and America making the free trade agreement. We got free trade with them anyway. That's still Turtle Island. We don't need no contracts to tell us that we can trade with our cousins up north or our nephews down south. Ain't nobody tell me I can't go over my uncle house and take some gifts to him in Brazil. It's still Turtle Island.
Indeed, brother. But the premise of me asking the question, sir, is this: with the president, normally when a president is a presidency of a country, it
Mm-hmm.
normally derived from being a citizen from that country.
Yeah.
With that being the case, the president of Mexico, original land, and her family's land is Israel.
Okay. What that does in law, that voids out the original constitution when a foreigner take office. Now Mexico is forced into the position to negotiate with people like the Zapatista, right? Now they can go and talk to those people and tell them that Big Mama home and they closing the corporation and we need y'all input for the new government. This is what can happen now. When a foreigner take office under a constitutional government, it immediately suspends the constitution to protect the nation from a coup, from an outside agency, which anybody that coming out of Israel in politics is a Mossad registered agent. So if that person came out of Israel and is occupying the highest office in the land in Mexico, that means that the Mossad secret agency has taken over Mexico. That's what they telling you, right? But what they not telling you is that Israel is about to fall because it's a fraud. It's a constructed fraud created to push a false narrative that God feel like some people is better than other people.
No, no. Shukran for that, brother. I appreciate that.
All right, thank you. We're gonna move on. Let me get my sister Prophetess Keys, and then I see I got Cosmic Chris. Prophetess Keys in the building, y'all. What up?
Hello. Hey, Brother Rod Hayes. Hey, everybody on the chat.
Hey, sweetie,
Fanning
how
out
you
right
doing?
now. Fanning out right now. That's how I'm doing. Because I count this as you all are the superstars to me. This is black excellence at its finest.
You trying to make me blush.
Okay,
Peace to you, Prophetess.
but
Peace.
but
Peace.
to get to the question, to piggyback off of one of the questions, because I understand everything that you're saying, and as I'm being a follower of you, I want to go back to one of the questions that the brother was asking when you was talking about the Greeks, the priests handing the stuff off to the Greeks. Does that have anything to do like with Akhenaten? And I asked that question because of I heard KRS-One once saying that Akhenaten was passing off the information to the Greeks, and the Moors had a mural of this off in California. So I wanted to know that that has something to do with that.
Okay,
And
so the Akhenaten was working with Greece, but his priest, the Aten priesthood, was at war with the Amun priesthood. The
okay,
conflict was the what they call the sons of the light, the ones of us with the latent DNA of the ancient pharaohs. They don't want to wake us up and change society before it's time to change society. So the Amun priests wanted them to remain hidden. The Aten priest of Akhenaten was actively feeding information through the priestesses to civilize Greece, the first university being set up on the island of Crete. Once they was doing this, they was teaching philosophy and science and art. And Rome, under the Amun priests, came in teaching war, destruction, and death. So now you caught between the pillars of severity, Rome, and the pillars of mercy, Greece. The only remedy is to restore Greece, which is your Delphi priesthood that ran Greece. They were called Gorgons, and Medusa, Medu is 10, Sa is a birth priestess or birth doula. And that's the priesthood of the order that Medusa was the highest rank because 10 was the highest rank. We didn't
mhm,
rank from 1 to 10, we ranked from 10 to 1, the best being 10, the novice being 1. And so they tell us that Medusa with her dreadlocks had snakes for hair. And they
mhm,
tell us that her look would turn a man to stone, which means she was exceedingly gorgeous to make any man with testosterone stop and look. We didn't see them all through the hood. So
mhm.
This is the conflict of the gods that manifest in the reality of the people. So now the Aten priests, the ones who believe that we should let our light shine into the world, step forward to eclipse the priests of the darkness or the dark brothers to bring us into the awareness, the light, fiat lux, and the brotherhood. Let
Hmm.
there be light, illuminate the mind of the masses.
Yes.
Send forth a great teacher to teach a great teacher in order for people to activate at a higher frequency. So they sent us Malachi York, but we didn't receive him because they lied and said that he was a pedophile. So now we rather believe the well-dressed lie than the naked truth of how the fraud was set up. And they was letting they pedophiles run rampant over the children in Hollywood, New York,
Mm.
right? But they point to the righteous man, saying he the one doing what they doing,
Yeah.
right? That's called the sacrifice of the righteous for the indignation of the wicked. This is the Anunnaki Sumerian pattern. If you get caught doing wrong, you got to give up somebody that was doing right in order to be redeemed from the wrong you done. Human sacrifice.
Now, well, tell me one other thing then, because I always wanted to ask you this. I hear you say that we're not all from Africa and all those things. Why did America, when they set it up, why did they deem to replicate Washington after Egypt out of all the wonders and stuff in the world?
They were making sigils on the ground in order to harness and activate a certain frequency and energy. If you look at DC from an aerial map view, there's so many sigils that you will get confused when you get about 10 of them counted. The sigils are used in sorcery to harness energy.
Mm.
The energy they harnessing is coming from a power seat in Egypt. But the real source is not in Egypt. This is why they couldn't take over permanently, because the real temple of Isis is in Arizona, in the Grand Canyon. And the
Wow.
real temple of Tahuti is in the Grand Canyon. And these are the ancient ones. In modern times, you might have modern people coming from everywhere, coming out of Africa. But from ancient times, we was already here and we was operating the great civilization called the Great Atlant, that they commonly call Atlantis, that Atlanta named after. Because they know who we are, they just don't want us to know. Going back to Sai asking me what was the big secret, and I told him we were. We the big secret that we are the bloodline of the gods of the earth. We are the personified spirits of nature walking around in human form in order to clean up the mess humans created because it's the human responsibility to get it done.
Yeah. So what you saying that, and it's the time of the awakening and the exhuming of the nation. What's gonna happen to those that refuse to wake up, that refuse to acknowledge this understanding, this truth?
Once the women sync on the right frequency, the earth is going to send off a pulse, and anybody on the wrong frequency, their mitochondria are going to turn off. That means where you stand, your heart might stop, your brain might stop, or your blood might just stop circulating. When your mitochondria turn off, you don't know how your mechanical device is going to react to it because that's your power source. And the loving, natured, divine, feminine women waking up activates the earth to send that pulse off. Atlas Shrugged is what Ayn Rand called it. And that's the great cleansing of the earth that they keep talking about when the people that don't belong here gonna try to escape on ships. We don't care if they escape, as long as they don't come back.
Wow, scripture. Gathering of the wheat and burning of the tares. Well, thank you. I enjoyed this thing. I did have one more thing though, but what about that the telescope in Arizona that you mentioned that they call Lucifer that the Romans got there. Why do they have that there? What's that for?
Because they watching that big ass ship sitting out there that the Pentagon been reporting on since March, talking about they sending ships, shuttle ships to do reconnaissance, and ain't nothing we could do about it.
Mm,
That's what it was there for. They wanted to see when it was coming. By the time they got it good and built, they was already here.
mm. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Brother Cornetta. Thank you, Brother Rod.
All right, all right. Moving right along. We got Cosmic Chris 9 in the building. Cosmic
What's
Chris 9. Let's get it.
going on, family? Shout out to Saul. Shout out to the panel. Brother
Peace.
Ron, I just want to let you know, like, I agree with like, at least like 70% of what you saying. Now, you've been all over the place tonight, but I agree with you on a lot of things, and I want to. So I don't think we gonna butt heads too much, but I do want to get a people a good conversation. And but piggybacking off of what you just said with the mothership, and they've been watching her with the Lucifer telescope. So, can you, from your opinion, does our second moon? Because we know we just got a second moon, which will be leaving our orbit in a couple weeks. Does that second moon have anything to do with that ship that they've been watching? That mothership?
The second moon is a satellite. The reason it's in Earth's orbit for that amount of time is
Mhm.
it's called gravity assist. It has to use the gravity of this planet to project it to its next planet. The same way they did the Hubble telescope. They're still doing it. This secondary moon is it's a mechanical device.
Right. So it's you wouldn't say it's what they were reporting it to be, just a regular rock, asteroid that broke off that's
No,
trapped here
no.
and gonna move along. I wouldn't either. I agree with you on that. But
You you don't know nothing about astrology if you believe that, or astronomy.
right, right, or ancient history, or the synchronicity of the dates of what
Mhm.
was wrote in those tablets. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
for sure. Now, just for a little pushback, right? Because
Come
I
on.
from all of my information that I've came across, I've never heard anyone say black people started Greece or Rome. Now, from what I've came across, ancient Greece and ancient Rome were heavily influenced, and in their law was homosexuality and pedophilia. So,
That's
are you
wrong.
saying that?
That's wrong.
Uh, right,
That's the
right.
sex magic of the Babylonian priests of the Amun that set Rome up. Greece was set up by matriarchs, and a lot of what became the homosexual culture was forced on the Greeks by the Romans. A rape campaign of men in warfare.
Okay, so you wouldn't be saying that it was started by the black Egyptians who migrated into that land and started Greece, from what you said earlier. It wouldn't be us who started that culture.
Well, they was involved in it because they the ones got all the statues of the naked dicks all over Rome.
Yo, no cursing, no cursing.
Oh, Peter's, Peter's,
Yeah,
Richard,
yeah, Peter.
the naked Richards all over the place. That's a priesthood doctrine that's found in the Talmud and the Mishnah. Those not written by pale faces. Those were melanated priests that believed in raping and molesting children. That's
See,
child
see, that's
sacrifice
where the
sex magic.
pushback comes in. That's where the pushback comes in because I've never came across any of our ancestors having that type of culture or having that type of mindset.
Have you,
They were
listen,
masters of alchemy, not
they
masters
did,
of.
they were.
I'm
But
saying that they weren't
they,
masters of
those
pedophilia
were
and sick
war
mindedness.
strategies. Look, those are war strategies to oppress a people. That's the
Right.
purpose of it. War.
All's but listen,
You
all's
looking at
fair
it
in
in
love
this
and war.
right.
And I'm sure the most righteous people on the planet, people us, I'm sure we wouldn't stoop
I'm telling
as
you,
low as those.
some Negroes wrote that.
Okay.
They
Okay.
wrote it down. There wasn't no pale faces writing back then.
I agree
Okay.
with
Well,
that.
I don't want to. I don't want to harp too much on that. I just that's just where me and you disagree at. But like I said, we agree on mainly like
Look,
70% and up. So
everybody that look like us don't feel the same way we do. Everything
right,
that look like us ain't us.
right.
You got to
But okay,
remember that part because just,
right.
just because they was melanated don't mean they on the same frequency as the earthborn.
And just because that's my next question to you. So those melanated people that started ancient Greek and ancient Rome, were they us? Were they Africans? Could they have been Dravidians? Could they have been Indians? You know what I'm saying?
Rome was started by Etruscans. Matter of fact, just do this. Read African presence in early Europe by
Mm,
edited by Ivor Van Sertima, and that'll get you caught up on the involvement of melanated people in the development of Europe. Once you
okay.
get caught up on the early development, you're gonna see how prominent the hand of melanated people was in the depraved society that existed. It's melanated people that's running the construct of this new society we in now that's falling from power, that's pushing
No.
this elemental Q agenda.
See, earlier you said the Pope had the most power. Now it's
No,
over
I
here. It's a
said the
different
Pope
thing.
answered to blackamoors.
See, no. Listen, the Pope doesn't have more power than NATO, and that's just a fact. NATO's running this
Okay.
bitch into this ish into the ground for sure. Now, when it comes to the country, we can't say there's black people running this country because it's not. Black people don't have. We have a spending dollar trend spending power. But we don't have the most millionaires per capita, the most billionaires per capita. We're not making as much money as these white people, these Chinese people, these Arabs. So we can't say that we're out here running the country and we're controlling it from a black hand when we know obviously we don't have enough money to do that. We're not buying politicians. There's people, white people like George Soros, buying politicians. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
Uh,
I agree.
all right, all right. Come on, black people. All the other people in the chat. I know y'all see that cash app. Come on, man.
Mm.
Come on, man.
Well,
Come
like
on,
I said,
man.
I
Come on,
agree with
man.
you
Stop
with the
playing. I know
most.
you see the cash app in the chat. Show
So
some
I
love,
want
man.
to end. I want to end on something that we agree on, and I want to ask you because from my research, right, I don't believe in that out of Africa theory. Everyone's not from there. You know what I'm saying? And I've done my own research and I came across gaseous distribution, aka natural distribution, which is a mathematical formula for how everything, animals, plants, etc., even statistics, how it's just a mathematical formula for how everything was distributed over the planet. And if we follow gaseous distribution or aka natural distribution, it would not lead us to everyone coming out of Africa. It would most likely lead us to think that everyone populated the planet at a certain point in time, maybe the Big Bang, maybe a little bit after. You know what I mean? So I want from your opinion and from your knowledge, can you give us anything compared with the natural distribution compared to the out of Africa theory?
Yeah. If you go down to Teotihuacan, there's a temple
Mm-hmm.
complex with seven distinct different facial phenotypes. That's where earthlings were made.
Okay, I'm definitely going to look into that. I kind of know about what you're
All
talking
right,
about, and
thank
I'm
you.
leaning towards you, but I'm definitely going to look into that. I
All right,
appreciate
thank
you,
you,
brother, and
brother.
you definitely one of them.
All right, Meta
Thank you, brother.
Williams. What's up, brother? Meta Williams is on the call.
Pontiac, what's up, man?
Peace, God. Peace. How you feeling?
What's up, God? It's been a while, man. Last time I rapped to you, I was at my brother's crib. We chopped it up for a minute.
Yeah, I think I remember too.
We chopped it up a few times, though.
Yeah. What's on
What's
your
good
mind,
with you?
man? I'm good, man. Just taking it easy, trying to help enlighten as many people as I can with my limited knowledge.
Hey, you on the right? You in the right place, though. You know, Sai, he be bringing it, man.
Sinetta, Sinetta been
He be
doing this. I was when he started. I was doing prison debates.